advance for the noise. Completely unplanned, but tonight got my hands on a pair of Tim Franken Gawds skates. Wanted to do a quick review of it, talk through some of the things that have changed, what I like about the skate, what I dislike about the skate. I was able to skate it for a few minutes, which was interesting. Give it a second for the noise. It was interesting doing Royales on an anti-rocker setup with a groove this deep. Like, it is absolutely pitted. So Royales, you just like, it's basically not a Royale. It's kind of crazy feeling. I wasn't hating it. Young lady just driving away, so just giving her a second. So Royales are just kind of crazy. Like I said, it's pretty minimal. If you're new to skating and you're trying to learn Royales, this skate will definitely complement that pretty well because you don't have to go very far to feel confident that you're boot down. For me, it was actually really daunting to like do a Royale because I didn't feel like I was far enough down, but I also couldn't force it over more. So it was just kind of a strange feeling. But overall, so I wear car just. Oh, I think somebody's looking for the car. I wear an 11, and these are 10.5s US. They fit pretty well. One of the things I was really bummed about is the liner, and it's bad, like really bad. I mean, I've kind of had the cream of the crop for a couple of years and skated Intuitions, so I just don't have a lot of positive things to say about the skate, or the liner, I should say. The design of it is pretty nice. It does have an internal cuff, or I'm sorry, an external cuff, so you can make it a little tighter. It does allow the laces to go through the cuff system, which is actually a pretty nice feature. Like from a design standpoint, the cuff is designed very well, but from a function standpoint, it's not that great. This tongue, I'm trying to remember where I've seen this tongue before. I want to say this was on like the Demetrius George Throne. It's got the classic USD tongue. It's got the little insert where you would add like the little emblem onto. But the rest of it is kind of like new and a new design. The other thing is this bottom material that it's made out of, it's just very unimpressive. Even their, like the dimples in the back don't seem to be aligned very well. It's really crazy. They do come with a big footbed underneath of them. Oof. So this chunky boy, it looks like it's got some graphic, I don't know what it is, but it's very thick. The actual raise on the heel felt good. It's like every sound on earth right now. In addition to the integrated footbed, there is a shock absorber with some Velcro. It goes into the bottom. I didn't. Any day now. Hot damn. Back to the liner. Like I said, tongue reminiscent of some of the classic Throne liners. I think it's the same material. I don't know if tongues are like in a press or something, or if they come out a certain way. The upper material is super minimal. There's really nothing to it. It does have a neoprene toe box, which is nice. Gives you a little bit of space. As far as like the fit goes, like I said, being an 11, these still fit pretty well. I know the last time I tested the size 10, 11 sways, they didn't fit very well. These actually fit really well. There may be a little bit more room, definitely more top room. I can feel a little bit of toe movement, which is good. It's something I enjoy. Not everybody does, but the laces are sufficient enough to kind of lock you in. As mentioned, there's this shock absorber on the bottom of it that you can put on. It's Velcro, so now you have two shock absorbers. You have the one here and the one integrated into the footbed, and then there's these dimples in the back, and they seem to be, I don't know if that's intentional, but they seem to be very haphazardly kind of stamped on the back there. The immediate thing whenever I put the skate on was getting my foot in wasn't easy. It felt like every time I would do it, the back would kind of crush in, which isn't actually what was happening. Like even pushing down, I can't do it, but there is a little bit of sponginess right there. It might be because they're half size smaller than my foot, but they do fit. But holistically, like I'm just not super impressed. For this being a high quality, expensive liner that's supposed to be built well, I wasn't super impressed with it. The responsiveness was okay. Compared to like an Intuition or anything else, obviously it's going to be outclassed. But even compared to the second skin liner that I reviewed in my 57mm sway video, that one felt substantially better than this one too. So I just wasn't super impressed with it. Onto the skate itself. So this is the reworked USD VII. The 7 has had some minor design changes. It's not very much. The lace holes now have this kind of like boot lacing thing where it stamps through the lace hole and has a hook where you run the laces through. It still has the dual lace eyelet up here, but the laces are long enough to thread through the liner, which is pretty nice. The shell has had some redesign here, so you get a smoother plastic around the lips, around the toe, and around the heel, and then they use what looks like a heat press to kind of stamp the Gawds stamp in there. It also comes with a USD VII sole plate, which has been reworked as well. They've removed the USD logo from the bottom of it, so there's no stamping or identification that it's a Gawds sole plate. And then they come with the Kizer Fluid IV frames. I've actually never skated Fluid 4s. They slid really fast. They were very robust, felt strong. Man, that Royale groove, literally, it's just, that's it. You're doing a Royale. Compared to this direction, that's what I'm used to on my adapts, if this was the positive side of my sole plate, but that is just, there's nothing to it. So again, if you're learning Royales, I think this would be a great skate for you. Looking at the cuff, there was a claim that the cuff was reworked, and the one thing I've taken note of is it does have a deeper V in the back, but it's really hard to see since it's dark here. It looks like they literally just cut it. It looks like with a Dremel or something was traced and they just kind of did it and then they buffed it, and it looks pretty jagged. It looks pretty jagged. It definitely looks like somebody did this in their shop. There's minimal Tim Franken isms all over it. He's got his little stamp on the back of it for Tim Franken. And again, congratulations, Tim. This is fantastic. Well deserved, and I'm glad to see you get the recognition you deserve. It does come with Tim's signature God wheels. I don't know if these are real God wheels or if they're China wheels. They have kind of a different feel than I'm used to with a premium urethane, but I hadn't rode Gawds since probably their first or second pour, so I couldn't tell you truthfully if this was. They do feel responsive. They feel a little stronger than if they were a Chinese pour wheel, but it's still iffy. I had some slippiness to it. Beyond that, they come with Gawds anti-rockers and some gold accents, and really, that's about it. So I do have a comparison of this. So this is the original USD VII, or I guess one of the final versions of it. As mentioned, you can see the V's in the cuff, how they do differ. The 7 being a shallower V, and then this one having tighter. This one has an intuition liner in it, and then some 50/50 Prime frames on it. So the other thing is on the sole plate itself, you have the USD stamp in the bottom of it. As mentioned, when you look at a Royale here, we get this much of an angle, and when you look at a Royale on it, a USD with Prime frame, you do have to get lower. So it's more work, it's more in the knees. This definitely feels like a beginner thing. Not that it's a beginner product necessarily, but I do feel like it's a beginner groove. It'd be really nice for somebody trying to learn. Riding this skate flat rocker would probably be a nightmare, and I wouldn't recommend it. You'd be pretty crazy. USD makes a Kizer makes a Fluid 5 frame with a better groove for flat rocker, so I would go that direction. It's actually in the other review over here. But beyond that, lace holes are basically the same. The cuff looks identical, has the same little bit of texture to the back of it, so I thought maybe that was worked into here. No, it looks like that's the same. Lines are exactly the same, so it's pretty much the same skate. They did remove the USD Phoenix on the back of it. I can't tell much else that's changed, honestly. They're basically the same skate. So if you like 7s before, give them a roll. I know Lawrence has had a lot of high praise for the 7s. This skate did feel really good. I think if I put an intuition liner in it, it'd be more comfortable, and if I got frames that I was a little more comfortable with, it'd be great. This is also the first time I rode anti-rocker in 5.5 years, so that was a little strange to get used to. It felt very much like I was on train tracks, but if you're used to riding anti-rocker, it's going to be just like home. Overall, I think it's a solid skate. The liner was definitely a little bit of a letdown. Again, just an extremely solid platform. Couldn't be a more deserving dude to get this skate. So if you get a chance, pick up a pair. If you can, order them from your local skate shop to support, but if you do order them through Disroyal directly, Tim will get $100 per pair for each one that's sold. So keep that in mind. But again, don't undersell your skate shops. He's still going to get royalties from the skate shops as well. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to keep checking out Biz. He continues to produce This Week in Blade every single week. Head over to Tom's channel and check out Tom. He's doing great work with his programs. Keep the faith and keep shredding. Thanks.